Okay, so I have a few things to talk about, but one thing I just got to say this ahead so I can just get this out of the way. Because this person who is not talking to me, that I don't know, I must trigger a lot because they have such a hard time to speak to me, is, and the, you know, I don't know. It's like this pressure I feel of like, nobody's going to hear me until they say or something. Like, I don't know how accurate that is, but it's definitely something where I feel like I got to keep saying to this person, come on, I'm not that scary. You can talk to me. Like, but there was something that has popped into my head a few times. So I did want to say that I'm sorry for things from past lives. I mean, there's definitely some stuff that they had shown me, you know, and I, you know, I acknowledge that I've hurt this person in past lives. And I acknowledge that, you know, sometimes they could see me and not even know why. They have this strange feeling. And, you know, that, so anyways, I just want to apologize again for the things I've done in these other lives where, you know, like I didn't choose you, and I, you know, I chose position over a better choice, following my heart. I followed position. I followed what was expected instead. And I think that was, I mean, that's what they've shown me over and over and over. So anyways, I just feel like I just want to say sorry to this person again, you know, that this is a totally different life. And it's crazy how you can feel you're healed and then something can just come up and smack you right upside the head. So anyways, you know, from what they tell me, they get these messages, they hear what I say, and so I just want to say that. But there was some other stuff I wanted to talk about. I just wanted to get that out of the way, because I don't know if this anxiety and this pressure I'm feeling is coming from them. I'll tell you, there's an intensity on the planet right now that is over the fucking top. I swear to God. It's like it is so intense. And yesterday I saw Allison Coe had posted a new session, and this guy's session, he did talk about what is to come, because I guess it's something that was on his mind a lot, and he was curious about what is going to go on. So there was some stuff about that, and so his higher self said it's about to go down. It's very close. Like every time she would try and ask, he would say, it's very close. It's very, very close. Like, because she'd be like, well, so this year? And no, it's very close. Like, I think, it would not surprise me if it is March 23rd, because of some of the other stuff that I have seen. And I don't even know if I can put it all together, because it's like, I don't know. It could have been something off of there too. But there was something about, the dates of this changing for everything to be going like right side up, and that is in the stars on the 23rd. So I mean, that's pretty coincidental, like, for that to be where it is like written in the stars that things are supposed to flip right side up or something. So I don't know, I'm not an astrologer. I just, you know, like I said, I just go around and get bits from everything, and you know, when my discernment, my higher self puts it together, they take me and show me, like they bring to me what they want me to see, and they will always leave you gaps. They're not going to give you, to me, they're not going to give you every little thing, every little detail, because it's watching you learn or something, like watching you expand, explore, you know, open your understanding to things. So, you know, it can't just sit there and, you know, color in the pages for you and then just sit and watch you go, ooh, ah, so pretty, so pretty. You know, it is, you have to experience life. And so, anyways, I feel like that things could potentially be like right at the edge of the switching. And he said that it is going to be something in the sky. He said that we're going to know it's coming. Like he said, you can feel it. Well, I would say I can feel something's coming. Like, I don't know. But he said you're going to be able to feel it coming. There's going to be some storms. There's going to be just something really strange. And he said he could feel it for a couple days. And so he knew to just stay home. And so he wanted to stick around the house. He wanted to be with his dog. He wanted to make sure his dog was going to go with him. And there was a lot of things he was saying. It was like, oh yeah, I totally relate. And so many things about his dog being sick and what the dog's going through and all sorts of stuff. And it was the same message that he got, that I've gotten too, you know, and I have 100%, you know, realized it's talking directly to the person. Like I don't just sit there, please God, don't take her, please God, don't. No, I talk directly to her and say, you know, I really don't want you to go. I really want us to have more time together. And I love you and all of that stuff. It's about the experience. It isn't about when is God going to take her away from me. It's about when is the experience completed between her and I for what we both came here to experience together. And not all experiences go to the very end, you know. Some of them are brief experiences, you know. I would love this one to be that she's going to stay with me until the day I die. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I just don't know, you know. I mean, she's sitting here walking around the house and she keeps tripping on her own feet, but I completely get that too. Like I would, you know, somebody who trips over my own 2 feet. But he was also saying, so there was something in the sky, and so everybody goes out to look up. We've heard this over and over and over. And he said that it is like something with the like the light, or it's like a flash. He said they're going to market it as something different ahead. Like they're going to say there's a CME or something, and they're going to act like it's some sort of some sort of solar flash or something. But he said it's like this universal energy that's already on its way here, and that energy is what is going to turn everything the right side up. It's going to flip everything. So it's coming in hard. It's going to be very dramatic. And he said that there's a whole grid of us who are awake that were set up in certain areas. He said, just like what they have shown me. If you pull back, you'd see a grid of us on here. He said that that grid is, because when it goes down, that it's going to need certain people's light in certain places, because people are going to be so confused and so devastated that there's going to be a bunch of people who will leave, but they are going to continue on the old earth. Like the two realities are splitting. It isn't like we're leaving and we're moving and going anywhere, but it's just these two opposing forces. Like I said, that it's kind of like, you know, you have these two vibrations. So you have this really dark, heavy, and then all this light comes in and starts coming in and changing the vibration and exposing it. And so it's like these two become separate. And right now they are so separate, like these two energies. Like it's very clear there's a light choice and a dark choice for most of us. And it says, I mean, this higher self said a bunch of times that that's the problem, is this tricking the people, that they haven't got this opportunity for free will, because it's not free will when you're being tricked. And so all this stuff he was saying is stuff that I've been saying. I'll tell you, it's so frustrating too. Like I gotta just get out of my ego, because just hearing this girl, and she's showing this video, and she's in Oregon, and she's talking about the sun. I've talked to her a lot of times, And she's talking about that they, yesterday the sun was out, it was so hot and bright, which I think is fake as fuck. And, but today they've put this haze over it. She said the sky's blue, but there's a haze. And so you can't feel the sun at all. And so she goes off on this whole thing about that they're poisoning us, they're poisoning us, everything. So-and-so said, and they're right. It's like so-and-so said, and they're right. I know that there's other people besides me who are out there saying it, and I know there's other people who are out there saying it, you know, who have been saying it as long as me, but I'll tell you what, it's frustrating. Frustrating as can be to never be heard. Like, go on to freaking TikTok and all these people panicking, you know, TikTok, you know, will we could start this other social media. That went on with Twitter. I mean, everything that's going on right now on TikTok, I've already gone through this shit on Twitter in 2020. It's when they were starting Parler, Gab, like everybody's like, oh, well, we'll meet up over here where we can talk freely. You know, and all the people who went over there, they're all saying the same thing. Because none of the people who need to hear it went over there. They all just share information and frustrate each other. And it's, so now that TikTok is doing it, and you've got all these people are like, well, we'll start a new one, and we'll do this, and we'll go over to whatchamacallit. I can't remember. There's another place where they're all going and meeting, just the same thing. And they're all panicking, you know, like they're going to lose their accounts. It's like, I don't feel anything about it. It's just like, whatever. I mean, I've already lost so many. It's like, I get it in the beginning when you start losing things and they ripped out from under you, and it's very frustrating. But at this point, it's like, fuck it. Fuck it. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. I'm not going to fucking sit here and whine and cry. Where will I go? How will I be seen? I'm not even fucking seen already. You have fucking almost 30,000, which they completely hold back my following, which is frustrating as fuck. And all night long, you get one follower. One follower. You know how accounts start building up really quick as they build? Is because so many more people see you. Well, my account's bigger and nobody fucking sees me. I get 200 views a fucking night on videos, so. And then, I mean, just completely crystal clear what goes on YouTube. They have, the other day when they had taken away my followers, the few, I mean, they can't take too many because they have never let me have very many, but they had it down to 622. Now it's back to 626. So they like, okay, throw 4 more. What's she gonna do? What are these 4 crazy people gonna do? It's like, oh, fuck off. I'm so sick of being censored. I'm so sick of it. And so that frustration is just huge. And I don't know if that adds to my desperation of thinking this person, you know, once this obstacle is crossed, then I'll be heard. Like, I don't ever know. Fuck, I don't know. You know, like I said, they're not going to give you every little, they're not going to color the picture in for you. You got to sit here and watch it play out. Watch how it's colored in. And they use colors that you're not expecting, I'll tell you that. And so, yeah, I don't know. I know that it's very frustrating. And on TikTok, along with all of the people who are in major panic of where are we going to go? What are we going to do? How are we going to talk to each other? That there is one after another. The first one was this guy. I've talked about him before because I've seen him before. I think I talked about him months and months ago. And he's a white-haired guy. I think he has a white goatee. He has a podcast. And he sits at a desk, you know, a very nighttime comedian show kind of desk looking, you know, like there's windows behind him or something. I don't know. But, you know, I mean, I think he's well known. I'm pretty sure he's like some Christian podcast or something. I think I had seen him on something else and talked about, I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure that he's a Christian podcaster. Oh my gosh. And he was so frustrated. He was like, this is, he didn't say this is some bullshit. I can't believe how many adults are like, oh, I'm sorry in case I cuss. Even Allison Goes, she's like, oh, sorry if I cussed. Because something fell right when she was talking. And then she said I would always, you know, if something happens like that, I'll, you know, yell out a cuss word. And I just really want to apologize. Fuck off with that apologizing for, I'm not apologizing for who I am. If somebody doesn't like cussing, I cuss. Like, I've said it from the beginning. I'm not going to apologize because I cuss. I don't understand, you know, oh, these words, these are the okay words. These are the bad words. It's like, I'm going to use whatever words I want to use. I'd rather not even use any other words. I'll sit and think things to you all day long, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to cuss when I'm thinking it. like, it really, when you think things, it's more of a, it's more like in pictures. You don't sit there and type out the word, you know, in your telepathy. It's more like it just all comes in, and then you just send it out. It's like focusing on something and sending it out. And then when they hear it, they're going to perceive the message. It's not like it's going to go in like Morse code into their brain. Okay, wait, let's, okay, I get it. Yeah. You know, it's nothing like that. It's just all of a sudden, you could just be sitting here and be like, yellow, what am I thinking about yellow for? Yellow, and then, you know, all of a sudden, yellow socks come on. Yellow socks, why am I, yellow socks? And then it can be, you know, the person who was thinking about you was putting on yellow socks. And so as they're staring at their socks, thinking about how bright yellow they are, they're thinking about, you know, your lovely yellow hair reminds them of the socks. And so then your message, all of a sudden, you just have this feeling about yellow socks, and you have no idea why. Because we're not good at, for one thing, this communication yet. We have a ways to go. And so we don't even know we're communicating like that. So you've got to send much more direct messaging. Like, like this person who I'm always talking about, they talk to me in telepathy. And what's so crazy is once that started occurring, it was like a voice I recognized from when I was a kid. I was like, oh my gosh, I've been talking to this person since I was a little kid, and I didn't even know it. And that was very trippy. But to me, like, there has been lots of weird things with their communication. Because in the beginning, like, they would do something, like say something or show a picture or something that was something that I was looking at all the time. Like, it was weird. Like, I saw them draw a picture. Like, I would be sitting and looking at something all the time, and then all of a sudden they draw a picture and it would be what I was looking at. And I was like, wow, that was pretty cool. And that was in my beginning of my waking up, when I started seeing it in the beginning, where I was like, where I was still trying to figure out, like, what in the hell, how am I connected to this person? Like, I understood soul connections. Like, there's a lot of stuff, soul stuff I understand that people don't understand. So I understood, you know, I'm connected with this person, but it was just weird. Is like, you know, how is it that I just now realized it, though? And that is when they told, because you can't realize something before you're ready to realize it. You have to get to that point to be prepared for that information. So it is, it's always like a need to know. They're not going to give you what you don't need to know ahead. They're only going to give you what you need to know right now to heal, grow, move you forward to your next part. So, you know, all of the things for the last 5 years of my connection with that person, that was just this constant, you know, more things, like where I would question something and then it would be something else, you know, just like that. I'd be sitting there questioning things and wondering, like, what in the hell is going on? And then it would be something like that would pop up, and I'd be like, okay, I see what you're saying now. But, you know, what am I supposed to do with this? What's supposed to be going on with that? And so, you know, they've definitely told me a lot of stuff. So this is, you know, and I don't see how I can just sit here every day and just be like, to not want to be moving into this other direction. Like, I think I would have to be a nut to not want to not have those desires to move into this other, you know, state of being once this flipping occurs or whatever's supposed to happen in my own personal life. I mean, we all have our own personal stuff going on. There was a girl I just saw, and she was really wanting to make sure that people were clear about, don't just, you know, if you've got shit going down out in your neighborhood, you know, you need to be out there coming together with your community, not sitting in your house meditating. And that's true. That's what I've said from the beginning. Like, you know, you got to be aware of what's happening in your orbit, in your vicinity. And you need to come together on the things that are happening out there that are involved with your community. What you need to not do is, you know, project yourself into everybody else's crisis. You know, even in your community, you know, if there's one person that is having a horrible crisis, you don't have to go interject yourself to be involved. But, you know, if things are going down in your community, you want to be out there and be involved, you know, like, well, floods are happening out there trying to help people and stuff. That's where communities are going to come together and build and relationship, like, and it has to go on in different areas in different ways. So definitely you should be, you know, if you've got something going on and you have those opportunities, you know, you want to be out there doing that. When it's not, though, you don't want to just be sitting there focusing on all of the horrible stuff and just driving yourself crazy and getting yourself beat down. You got to take time to yourself and know what's good for you. And it's not always good for you just to sit and listen to the fucking lies. And I saw that this morning when I saw these people all losing their minds. It was like one after another. I couldn't believe it. This was the first step. The one guy, that white-haired guy, he's going through the whole list of, like, we've got all this evidence. We've got all of this evidence. And they just do what they want. Like, he's going through, like, Bengal, all of the different things. I mean, there's so much that you could go through. Like, you know, they just have Gates out there just, you know, buying stock in Heineken and opening up his cricket farms and all this fucking shit. Like, all this stuff is, like, to me, it's so absurd. It's just so absurd to get people to be outraged, to get them to wake up, to get them to talk, to get them to pay attention, to get them to feel something, to get them to set a boundary, to get them to, you know, question something. So, but all these different people were all doing the same thing this morning, just totally frustrated. Like, you know, I'm just done. I'm just had it. I'm fucking sick of this upside down bullshit world where they get away with doing whatever the fuck they want, and we all have to just, you know, deal with it. And apparently Joe has already started saying, you know, we've got some new cities we want to move people into. This stuff is so, oh my God. So, you know, but that's where they got to, you know, get people to realize what the future holds, what they want you to have for your future, and get more people to be like, you know, that gets us all talking about the 15-minute cities, to get these people who don't have awareness. I guess right now in France, like, it's fucking war in the roads. Like, it's done. Like, they've gone against their government. They're like, hell no. They're fighting the police in the streets, the people. You know, and I don't know that it will come to that here. It could in some places. I think we've already had some of that, but on a large scale like what they have, I can't see all of America going into the Civil War. And so I don't know what else is going on the LGBTQ stuff, you know, just because it's all been such a part of the agenda, that what they've tried to push to, you know, move people towards lack of identity and towards transhumanism. And so it has been, you know, like one of the stair steps. It's like one of the platforms on the stairs towards this thing. And so, and there's something with DeSantis. There's always something with DeSantis because he doesn't want trans teachers or something. I don't know what the fuck. It's all just bullshit stuff. And that DeSantis, I was suspicious. Any of these people that come so strong on the stage, there's something suspicious about it. Like, there's something just weird. Like, they've got something that we need to see, something that's being exposed. Especially, like, that guy was standing on the stage dancing around so much, you know. I mean, DeSantis this, DeSantis that. It was like, okay, something with DeSantis, and I don't know what the whole thing is. You know, maybe he's just being used to draw attention to this shit. I don't fucking know. But the whole team is, I don't know. They're protesting. Huge amount of people, like huge. And they are, because I saw video and stuff, it's not a small group. And they're saying now they're trying to make them disappear. They're trying to get rid of them. Well, you've got all these people now who were searching for their identity, who felt confused as who they were, who, you know, wanted to, you know, be honest. Like, I kind of think they're attractive, but I kind of think they're attractive too. I don't even know. Who am I supposed to be attracted to? You know, like, there's a lot of that. Like, I mean, some souls you don't necessarily see the body as other people. You know, you're not going to have the same limitations. And so you've got all sorts of different souls and all sorts of different beings, all sorts of different people trying to find who they are in this crazy world. So that huge amount of people, which was so many young people, you know, I mean, the comparison of how many older people who have claimed a title like that compared to the younger people, like, it makes me feel proud for the younger people to be able to claim their identity and say who they are, because the for older people, that was, you know, shame on you. You know, you better be a hard-working heterosexual, you know, God-fearing. Otherwise, you're just, you know, you don't count in their world. And so, you know, there's so many people who felt marginalized, felt unaccepted, and, you know, confused as to who they were and why they didn't fit in and stuff. And all the lies, you know, all the lies, because, you know, I could, even when I try and talk to people and tell them the truth, the indoctrination, it's hard to get over the indoctrination. They can't. So hearing the truth doesn't necessarily mean you're all of a sudden going to see the truth. You have to begin to feel and experience something to move you. It's like deprogramming. So all these people who are so deeply programmed. But so this month, the 31st, I think you're supposed to do some boycotting, not go to work, a whole bunch of stuff like that. And they've got a whole, they're going to be, they've been, what is this called? Organizing this big protest. They're supposed to go on the 31st. That in there, one of the signs I saw, you can't make us disappear now. You can't tell us we don't exist or something. So I don't know what's going on all for them. The only things I had seen lately was the division where you have the groomers of the people, and then you have the people who are disgusted by the grooming. That division in that group. So I don't know where all it's become more. And then with the descent, like, I don't know. I think it started in Florida with how they're being treated, but it's gone huge. And so it's going to be everywhere. And so any of the things that we can do to support any of the groups, as far as I'm concerned, in this protesting, to show that we have unity, that we stand together. You know, we don't have to all be the same to support one another. And it's everybody, you know, like I talked about before, it's when you feel your rights are being, when someone's on your rights, that's when you take notice. Like, they've been screwing people's rights since the beginning of fucking time. Like, yesterday, I turned on this movie, and I hadn't watched, I don't know. Anyways, I turned on this movie. It's called Prey, I think. P-R-E-Y. I'm pretty sure it was called Prey. And so it was this, these Indians back in the beginning time of America. And it was just getting started. And this alien comes from this other planet on the ship. And so it just did the same thing as that other movie. They even did that in the stairs. But there was another movie I've seen. This is the third one I've seen where it starts out showing, you know, us, we're hunting. So why wouldn't we expect to be hunted? You know, so that was the third one I've seen in a couple months. Where it's like, yeah, I get it. So, and there's and it doesn't even just do it with the people, because this predator creature that comes here to do it, it was kind of almost like it was very advanced, had way advanced weapons. It was way more violent than any truly advanced being, because even though, you know, you think of Dracos and reptilians as being super advanced, they may be technologically, but spiritually, if they still want to war and fight, then spiritually, they aren't advanced. Because when you advance spiritually, then you are about peace. Like, why would you want there to be warring in the universe and put out that kind of energy into the universe? No, you want peace, and you want people to get to have their own experience, not to control the experience. So anyways, that's my opinion. But so the you know, they've shown this a bunch of times in these movies lately. In this one, it had a couple of different things. Like, it had like a smaller animal, you know, even like a frog suddenly get a fly, and then the thing that goes after the frog get the frog, and then the thing that goes after that, like the circle of life. They showed that kind of a few times, but I really liked the movie a lot. There's certain, I have a really strong connection to Native American or Indian culture or something. Like, I know I was here at a significant time during that. I know I'm here for this full circle. Like, you can just tell, like, there's certain things that you'll be shown and you can just tell. And so, man, like, I just turn on some Native American dancing, and you know, I'll start crying. I like the same thing with the Middle Eastern music. Like, I don't know, there's things that my soul remembers here. Like, that's what I know. And so this on the Native American thing, see, this is what gets me, is so, because it showed it in this movie, and I've talked about it before. And so that's why I wanted to say, because I've talked about it before, and then they showed it in this movie. But so when they show about this, because all this talk, the colonizers, which I'll tell you that they're, because now that I think Newsom is like, oh, we're going to pay you reparations, anyone who's involved with the slaves and all this bullshit. So there's people who are going in and looking to see, and they're going back through their own families and can't find any slaves in their families. They're all, you know, we're just regular people. And some of them, you know, were kind of well-to-do and stuff. And some of them even probably had some slaves. People want to think that only black people were slaves. Chinese were slaves. Irish were slaves. All poor people. Like, there never has just been, I'll just take the black one. No, they've always just taken, in the people who they would have taken, also would have been like what they're still doing. The weaker ones, the one here, we're going to put these ones in prison and then give them no rights. Then we'll take them and sell them, you know. I mean, they're doing that right now. Here, you want out? Give us a kidney. You want out of here? Give us your eyeballs. It's like, these people are fuckers. And so it's like the same kind of thing that they did back then. But so on here, though, so it has this whole scene. And you, at this point, you don't even know, is it the predator that came from the other planet that did this? Because she shows the field where there's just all the buffalo are dead and skinned, just laying out rotting, all that meat rotting. And this was a big thing that happened to the Indians. This is how they starved them out. And it's been talked about so much like lately because of what they're doing to us right now. They're in the same playbook. So they just repeat, hey, we did this a couple hundred years ago, let's do it again. So they're doing that again, you know, with the starvation. And so when they showed that, and they showed all those buffalo out there, and all just skinned, and all that meat just out there rotting, all that waste, when the Indians were a lot more about harmony and balance and being one with nature, not taking more than you need, and always having gratitude. And, you know, just like after when they are in a fight and then they win and all of that, like I can feel that. Like oh my gosh, I can feel like the dancing, like I can feel it in my bones and stuff. Like I can feel, man, I don't know. It's a whole nother thing, because I'm sure we all have different things that we feel. Like there's people who feel like the medieval times, like they feel it so strong, they can, and they're so drawn to it and so interested. Like we all have different things. But so on the thing with the Native Americans though, then so she went and she was looking, oh no, she got taken by them somehow. I don't remember the whole thing. There was just a lot of fighting and stuff throughout the whole movie. But she gets taken by these people. And that is when you see where these people came up with the colonizers. The colonizers came out. The colonizers came. They loaded up these settlers. They loaded up their wagon trains and they drove them out there around the middle of nowhere by themselves with everything they owned and their families, and went up against these savages and beat them all and just killed them all and all this stuff. It's like, it's not what happened. They sent over these scoundrels, just like what I fucking said, whatever, a couple months ago, when I said that they were already putting their super soldiers out there. These ones, the ones that they were showing, they were a bunch of like, you know, friends. They all had different accents. So it was kind of like the scoundrels, the prisoners, the gold miners. I think even gold miners weren't that violent. These were more like prisoners, more like the drunks at the bar, you know, and that is what these people who are in charge are always looking for. They're super soldiers, people who just don't give a fuck. Just don't give a fuck. Don't have, you know, give me a beer, I'll go do your duty, whatever. You want me to kill them? Okay, give me a beer, I'll go. You know, is that those kind of attitude. Like when I saw them on there, I was like, oh my God, these guys were just scoundrels. They were just like disgusting people. And it wasn't colonizers, it wasn't settlers. They sent over super soldiers to go in and destroy the tribes, to bring down the tribes, to kill. And these people didn't have guns and stuff, and they had guns being used on them, you know, and they used axes and things that they could throw and shoot with bows and arrows and stuff. Like they had figured all that stuff out. They hadn't, you know, figured out how to make guns and stuff, so that was totally new. So they used a lot of guns and killed a lot of them because they were out-weaponed. You know, these people, the Indians, you wouldn't want to go in hand-to-hand combat with these people. Like, they were like animals. There's a reason why they were like, oh, those savages, because they were harmonious with who they were on this planet. They could activate, you know, like I'm like ninja warriors or something. You know, they were tuned into their own body. They were, I don't know. There's just certain scenes in it too that are really cool. You know, like when they're barefoot and they're going through the forest and they're so quiet. And, you know, it's like they are, you know, what you want to call them, savages. They had a lot of their own animal instinct. They were living more like a natural being, a nature being, a being that knows how to live in its environment. It adapted to its own environment. And so you bring in these civilized people to come in and slaughter them with using weapons and stuff. And, you know, and then it's so much like in that movie Avatar too. Like, it's just what they, you know, go in where people are living a simple life, and then, you know, and that's what they're doing to us too. I mean, they're using technology on us that we don't even know exists. They've just done this over and over and over throughout their reign on this fucking planet. Using technology that we don't understand, using things, you know, to kill us that, I mean, right now, like I've been saying for however fucking long, every fucking thing you eat, everything you breathe, everything you drink is poison, and that's what's killing people. But, you know, now people are catching on, and they're like, oh yeah, so-and-so, they said it, and that's so true. It's like, God, I swear to God, I feel like a ghost. I feel like a ghost in this world. Like, you're sitting there knocking on the window, and nobody can see you. Well, I'm in here, I can tell you. I was like, don't listen, I don't see her. I feel so, I don't know. It's going to definitely feel good to ever be seen, for God's sakes. Like, man, it's curious to see how all this stuff is going to go down, how it is going to be, because I know I'm not the only one. Like, I mean, I wouldn't be getting these TikToks every other fucking TikTok, too. Like, oh my God. So, there is a lot of us who are unseen, who are hidden, and we're gonna be seen, you know, and I don't know if it has anything to do with this other person. I have no idea, like, what it is that's gonna be the thing. But all of a sudden, that, man, to me, it even feels like, fuck, I've been talking about this stuff so long. It's like, by the time anybody hears it, it's gonna be like, nah, that was last year. It's like, I don't know. Like, it's very curious, you know, when you're trying to figure out, like, what am I learning from this? What am I supposed to be getting from this? Am I just, because I was such a bad person in this other life, like, this is part of my karmic debt to just sit here and be unseen all the time and just sit back and watch as the whole thing crumbles? Like, I don't know. You know, so much of this stuff was just wait and see, wait and see, wait and see. But it definitely, man, the people are fed up. Like, I've seen the people all be fed up before, but this is definitely a whole new energy. And to me, it also is like, you know, if we all just became fed up together, we could all just go and start creating our own communities. We could go out and, but see, nobody knows their rights. Nobody knows, like, they can't own all of this land. They can't just own the earth. Nobody can own the earth. Even when they give you a space and they say, okay, you know, we're going to give you this space. And, oh yeah, and that was another thing too, she said, and this is what I've said too, is I think it's going to be, but in the Allison Coe thing, when she was asking him, well, what was going to happen? So, you know, this whole thing happens, this light, something happens about the light and the dark, and something about that, and it's all of a sudden this energy comes in and it like opens people's eyes. They can't, you can't close your eyes anymore. You can only see the truth. And so this energy comes in, and then people are like, a lot of people can't handle it and are very confused. And that's where the people who are awake will help them. And there's going to be a lot of people are just going to disappear, because the two are going to be going in two different ways. So the people who want to go towards the positive, towards this, where I say I'm going towards, is, you know, love and light, positive, unity, community, do your healing, take responsibility for your safe, take responsibility for yourself, or for the energy you put out. You know, it's the total empowerment of self, taking responsibility, being aware. And so that whole, you know, Mother Earth new age kind of going into that kind of whole new realm. That is, but then you have the ones who want to still play out this dark. It's way less, but you know, they want to stay in that dark energy and play it out. You know, it's not like it can go anywhere. It's not, I mean, to me, I would be very concerned about having my consciousness trapped in any kind of synthetic, a computer, a synthetic, any of that, because your consciousness trapped in something. Then, like, how do you get out of it? Like, we can get out of this because this body will die, but how do you get out of something when it won't die? Like, so yeah, I don't want anybody messing with my consciousness. I don't want anything coming in and sharing my space, none of that. So but so with the people who are going to choose to go into the dark, like, I don't know where all it's going to go, but there's going to be these split, and so those people will go towards that. And he was saying that it would be like, it's going to be almost like none of us even really pay that much attention. He said it's going to be kind of like, hey, remember that guy across the street that was a real jerk? Remember how he used to be such a jerk? And be like, yeah, I remember. And then that'd be like, oh, okay. And we're not going to be like, well, do you think he went to the old earth? Where do you think he went? It's going to be kind of like, it's not even a thing anymore. It's like not even something we think about or concerned with. We just let it go. Like, oh yeah, I remember them. And so it's going to be kind of like that. And she said something about, well, what's it going to be like in families then? And because, you know, and when I look at mine, I try and think like, man, it seems like everybody, no matter if they're not awake, everybody in my family seems to be making the choice to want to heal. I don't see people in my family choosing to want to be like thieves and bandits and, you know, repress people and all that. I see them, you know, being confused and not knowing what's up and what's down. Like that video I sent my brother and my sister the other day, not even one word, not even a thumbs up, not even a thumbs down, nothing. Just like I don't even exist. Like, it's so weird. But, you know, they've definitely shown me and told me a lot of, you know, there is going to be people who have dug themselves in. And, you know, when it's going to be hard to say, oh, yeah, this is one of those things where it's like, I feel like a complete egomaniac to say some of the stuff that they have shown me or told me. But so if you have like a sibling and you talk mad shit on them and you don't have any respect for them and you think that they're an imbecile, crazy loon, then all of a sudden the world flips right side up. And all of a sudden, other people start saying, you know, like, wow, how'd they know that? Wow, you know. And then this person who's been saying, you're a crazy loon, how do they go in and go, oh, yeah, oh, yeah, we talked about that stuff. No. So, man, the stuff that they have shown me and told me, like, I'll say it more after, but I'm telling you, it's much harder to talk about something before it's done. But God, I think, and I've seen so many TikToks saying that, so I think there's a lot of people who are in the same position as me, who have been saying things, been called crazy, and then when the world flips upside down and the people who want to hear what you have to say, you know, when people are interested, then the people who have called you crazy, they've kind of locked themselves in. Like, how do they go in now and say something different? It could be a very humbling experience. Like, and that is more and more too with these podcast things where they're going to be humbling themselves, like having to really show their emotions, like fed up. Like that guy was fed up. He's throwing things that white-haired guy, the white-haired podcaster. He was really fed up. But, you know, you have to show your true feeling. You can't hide from who you are. You know, this is a frustrating time. This is some nonsense. It's bullshit. We should be upset. We should be angry. We should be frustrated. You know, and we should all be coming together and being like, you know what? We don't have to take this shit. We could go and, why do we need their jobs? Why do we need anything that they have to offer? We don't. The only reason we do is because we think we do. And the only reason we think we do is because we want something they have. They don't have anything I want. But I don't care about anything that they have. You know, I mean, like I've said, yeah, things go down. Oh, well, my Social Security was deposited, so I did have that. And, you know, I spent it, and I didn't spend it all on being completely responsible either. It's like, I'm not going to keep trying to be this, you know, I'm going to live by the rules. I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do because it matters. It doesn't. No, it doesn't. And it's all going to blow up. And then it's going to be each person gets to see. What did you focus on? What did you think mattered? Why did it matter to you? What did you put in with your energy? When the things flip upside down, it's going to be a lot of stuff that people are going to have to see. It's not going to be just like the truth, because it's people's truth. It's their truth that's inside of them. And all of the parts they play, that's why I've said it's going to be so confusing to the people when things go the other direction, because they've been, it's like, it's almost like, you know, they put you on this race and they make the finish line way up there. You can see the finish line, and you're going over all the obstacles trying to get to the finish line, you know, and then all of a sudden they move the finish line. And it's like you're starting over, and now you're trying to get to this new finish line, and you're going to move the finish line. So it is, you know, that's playing games and playing games. But each time that they move it and the people are like, still, I'm going for it, I'm going to get there. And, you know, dedicating their time, their energy, their money, their faith, their everything into this system, and willing to jump through every hoop and play every game in order to get something that they want from it. And that is where they're going to have to face themselves. They're going to have to see, like, why? Why was I so weak? Why was I so weak-minded? Why would I let somebody just sit there and, you know, bitch slap me every day, and I just get up and be like, let's do it again. Let's do this again and again and again. You know, those are things that people are going to feel horrible about in themselves. I mean, when things flip, that to me is going to be the biggest thing, is how people are going to feel about themselves that have been locked into the narrative. They're going to feel so shame. They're going to feel so much shame, so much confusion, so much disgust with themselves. And, you know, that's why I've said for a long time, I'm not going to be adding that on with anybody, you know, trying to get them to be more disgusted with themselves. Because if you've ever been disgusted with yourself, it's a horrible feeling. And I'm sure not going to be adding that on for anybody. You know, it's a lot to overcome in life, to love yourself, to stop being disgusted with yourself, you know. Being disgusted, I mean, people are fucking disgusted with everything. They're disgusted with their hair. They're disgusted with their noses. They're disgusted with their eyebrows. They're disgusted with their size. They're disgusted with their color. Like, we're in a time and space where there's so much self-hatred. Just, you know, and everybody just needs somebody outside of them to just tell them they're okay, to just like them a little bit so that they can like themselves. But when the things flip upside down or right side up, that all of a sudden you see, you are the holdup. You're the holdout. You are the one who has to learn to love yourself. It doesn't matter about anybody else. You have to learn to love yourself. You have to let go of all of this stuff. Everything, every bad thing that anyone ever told you about you, that you believed, you have to let go of it. And you have to see, like, oh, I'm just a person. I'm just an energy. I'm just a soul. I'm just here experiencing. Why am I judging myself? Why am I so hard on myself? Why can't I just let myself be free and live and, you know, experience? And that's where you start finding, like, oh, because they told me that a good person does this. They told me a bad person does this. They told me a loser does that. I mean, how many, like, loser became such a big thing for so long. Loser, you big loser. Ah, you big loser. Like, fuck, can you imagine? Like, how is anybody supposed to feel good in this world? When everything, you're just a loser. You're just, you know, so it is a lot of stuff that people have to overcome to be like, well, I used to be a loser, but now I'm a winner. And the whole thing that got me to be a winner is to stop being a loser. Just stop being a loser. Just quit identifying as a loser. Quit identifying as somebody who isn't good enough, that isn't smart enough, isn't pretty enough, isn't skinny enough, isn't, you know, thick enough, isn't, you know, we're all just so hard on ourselves because we think we need to be something different than we are. And what we need to do is just learn how to accept who we are and love ourselves. And then, you know, the growing goes from there. But it all starts with having to love yourself. And that's why we have to go through all of this stuff. It seems like such a roundabout way to get people to love themselves, but it's going to work. That's the thing. All this stuff that we're going through and stuff is going to work. You're going to see where I think it's totally right. The energy is going to come in. Like I've said all along, it's going to be like all of a sudden the lights just flip on. And all of a sudden people are standing there in the mouth of the beast and are confused how they got there. And it's going to be a lot of trauma and pain to face. You know, you've been sleepwalking through life. You've been on autopilot. You haven't really been thinking for yourself. And the sad thing is that these people who don't have your best in mind have been doing your thinking for you. And so it's time for you to turn on and to start learning to love yourself and trusting yourself. And stop being programmed. Stop listening to the ones in control. You know, they can't control you if you don't give them control. You know, just like you won't be a loser as soon as you stop being a loser. As soon as you say, hey, I'm not a loser. I'm a fucking winner. I'm a winner. And you can't see it. I don't care because I'm winning. And you know, yeah, I've made some mistakes, but I see the value in a mistake. I see the lessons that I can learn every mistake I make, and I'm going to claim them, I'm going to own them, and I'm going to be a winner. And, you know, it's simple. It's simple. And, yeah, there's days that you got to cry it out because, you know, the whole Ben, you know, told you shouldn't eat that extra cookie. And, you know, you felt like a fat pig that day because you thought Ben was awfully cute. And then he told you, you know, you shouldn't eat that cookie if you want to keep looking the way you do. And so then, you know, as soon as you started gaining weight, as you got older, all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, I'm no longer attractive. I'm just a pig, you know, and it's crazy how those things become our identity. But it's we have to break that down. We have to reprogram. We have to let go of all of these old programs that we're running all the time. Keeping us low, keeping us in loser phase, keeping us in this, you know, not good enough, not good enough, not good enough. You gotta let it go. Because, you know, I mean, if we're gonna go there, then none of us are good enough. We're all equal in that way. None of us are good enough and none of us are superior. None of us, I mean, we are just us. But we're trying to figure out who us is. And you can't figure out who us is if you just feel shame and you're just trying to hide yourself and be something that you think other people will accept. It's not about getting other people to accept you. It's about you beginning to accept you. And the only way to accept you is to put yourself out there, to be vulnerable, to show your true self, to show who you are, what you think about something, you know. Be real. Don't hide who you are. You know, and don't be embarrassed or shameful. You know, there's no strict rule over who you have to be. That is a creation by them. There is no strict rule. So there is no parameters that you need to live by. What you need to do is just figure out who you are. What's your parameters? You know, who are you at your core? What do you represent in life? What are you here for? What is your purpose? Who are you in all of your relationships? What is the energy that you leave behind? You know, and like I've said a zillion times, like when you leave the room, do people take a big, oh, like finally? Or do people like, oh no, please come back. We want to hear more. You know, what is it you want to put out into the world? You know, and be mindful, be aware, pay attention, you know, read the room, pick up on the other energy. You know, you don't go into a funeral and start cracking jokes. You know, you let people mourn. You know, if you're not in it, into their thing, then you can go into another space. You know, there's lots of people who go in and they feel awkward and they do awkward things. You know, you don't have to do anything. If you feel awkward, you can just be like, oh, I feel awkward. Maybe I just need to go for a walk. Maybe I just need to go sit with myself. Maybe I need to ask myself, why do I feel awkward? And then be open to what the information is that comes in. So anyways, I've been talking a lot. Hopefully that helps. But I think, you know, that's the thing is going to be, it's going to be abrupt. See, I think that we're already in the storms that are leading up to it. I mean, with the storms going on in California, I mean, you got the one group telling us they're going to move us into these safety zones. You got the other guy who is talking about his, I'm 100%, I would go future city. I mean, not 15-minute city, but also in the Allison Coe thing. She kept asking him, so what's it going to be like after? He said, there's going to be a lot, everybody's going to live how they want to live. And there's going to be a lot of people who are going to build communities. A lot of people are going to go in and build communities. And, you know, that's what they want to do. They want to live and, you know, build a community together. And there's going to be tons of that. But she said there's going to also be tons of people who are going to be living in isolation, who just want to go out, like what I'm saying. I want to go out and, you know, live on my little ranch. I don't want to be in the middle of a neighborhood. Like everything that I have been in this one, it's like everything just gets louder and louder. And I was like, I need to be further out. Like my energy needs more space. I need more space. So, but that doesn't mean I don't want to, you know, I mean, I want to travel around and go to all the different communities. I want to go to communities. I want to go and travel around. I want to go for a revival. I want to go into communities as they're building and have big events, you know, music, bringing people together. And, you know, that's the kind of stuff I want to do is, you know, kind of revival stuff, bringing people back together, being a part of this beautiful rebuilding. But, you know, I definitely want to live like out more on my own little ranch with my own little animals and do my own little things and then travel around. Like I want to go see all the different places. But she said that that is what it's going to be like in the thing. And that's the same thing what I see too. So I think it's going to be, but so when this thing happens, whatever, there's going to be a lot of devastation or something. There's going to be something that is going to push people to need to go and build communities and rebuild. And so, you know, I don't know if it's going to be, you know, these fake bombs are going to blow up a bunch of places. I have no idea how it's going to go down or what it's going to go down. But, I mean, we're already in the money thing. It's already going. I saw another guy talking about, and he talks about Nasara. I've seen a couple of his videos pop up. And he's saying between the 20th and the 31st, everything is going to be getting set up. So by the end of the month, he's saying we should be on the quantum financial system by the end of the month. That there's already tons of people getting their stuff paid off. Everything is going. And so that everything will So if we're switching all of the money things and stuff, like everything is going to be really closely involved. So things have to flip upside down, flip right side up. When the money, all of it goes together. The changing in power, the money, the seeing the truth, all of it. I don't think it's going to be weeks apart. I think it's going to be like days or hours apart. So anyways, that just makes, again, like around the 23rd, you know, and it can be days in before, because like for a full moon, I always feel the effects a couple days ahead. So it's not just like that one instant. It can be for days. So I would think today's the 17th. So I think starting out, it's just, I mean, today's Friday. And to me, you know, this will be a time when they want some big thing to happen on a Friday. So if it would be, you know, so do they think our hands are tied on a Saturday and a Sunday, or do they hope that enough people will be off that they'll go burn down some cities? You know, who knows? You know, don't play into their games. Don't play into their hands. Yeah, go out and help people who are troubled and having things, you know, do what you can to, because that's building you up. Everything you do to help others is building you up. So, you know, keep doing those kinds of things. But, you know, don't go out and, you know, try and hold the fucking crutches for these evil bastards. Like, let all this shit drop. Let it all go. And be ready, you know. And like, I think there is going to be a lot of movement. And he said that too, and that there's a lot of movement, a lot of people moving into safe places and stuff. So, you know, I don't know. To me, it's going to be based on that map thing. And to me, I just feel like the future cities are planned. You know, there's a plan. There's a reason why they're going to choose these 11 places that he has said for the 11. I'm pretty sure he said 11 future cities. I don't think 7. I'm pretty sure he said 11 of them. And I think they're all going to be kind of in a general vicinity over in this one strip. I think on the right side of the state, because when Mississippi is going to go way bigger. So the East Coast is going to become much smaller. It's going to become a lot more narrow of a space. And so I think they're going to be moving people out of that space, because I think there's going to be a lot going on. I mean, right now we've got all the chemicals. You've got the Mississippi's going to go bigger. There's going to be a lot of stuff that's going to go on. So I think that other space, so on the West Coast, it comes way in. But you have this whole thing that goes down on the other side of the Mississippi. So going down from like Montana, Idaho, parts of Washington State, which my mom had told me all 25, 30 years ago when she moved up to Washington State when I was living there. And she said, for the end times, this, I don't know where she had seen this, some Holy Bible map or something, but for the end times that they were, that is a safe space. So I think that it's going to be still a safe, that area, which is beautiful. Like up by Washington State, Montana, and Idaho, up there it's gorgeous. And so the old growth forest in Idaho are magical, really, really beautiful. And so then going down from there, it's going to be, because I think a lot of Colorado's gone, a lot of New Mexico's gone. So it's almost kind of like we're going to be more towards the Midwest. I think there's parts of Colorado, Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas. So kind of going down that strip right there, that's where I think there's going to be a lot with the 11 future cities. It could be too up going across over by like Wyoming. There could be some, because I'm pretty sure that they were buying up a lot of that land. And a lot of the land that they were buying up is all going to go back to the people anyways. All this stuff is going back to the people. Like everything is being confiscated and going back to people. Like we are going to be, it's like we get to be the rich. We get to be the elite. But don't forget, like there's lessons. There's a reason why these people became bad. You know, there's a reason why people become consumed by that power and greed. So, you know, those are the challenges. Are you a good person at this point? Have you gone through stuff? Do you have compassion? Do you still need to hold things over other people? Do you still need to be above other people to feel good? And so those are the things that we're healing, so that when we get to that space, that we don't have this competition going still, this dog-eat-dog world, I'm better than you, that we can allow everybody to just be them, and, you know, nobody needs to be over anybody or set anybody's rules. But, you know, those are all the things to see, like, who are you when you know who you are when you're poor. And some people have seen like they're an asshole. They're a dick. They'll steal. They'll screw people over. They'll blame the world. And then some people, you know, have seen all of this stuff is getting you to see you. So, but the whole problem is so many people focus on other people. Like, I can tell you all about you. And I know what you need to do to fix your life. I know what you can do to please me. But, you know, the focus needs to be on you, what you need to do to please you. Push yourself as hard as you want to push other people to please you. Push yourself to please you. Because that's where you're going to really find what you're looking for. You're never going to find what you're looking for. You push everybody to treat you a certain way. You know, you can hold a gun to people's head and make them bow down to you. But is that going to make you feel good about yourself inside? Because that's what you want, is to feel good about yourself inside. So that's why you got to do the inner work. You got to figure out, you know, why you don't feel good about yourself at your core, and, you know, build from the inside out. So anyways, you know, just, you know, we're close and things are changing, and, you know, be present, be in the moment, and do your work on you, be true to yourself, be true to you, and true to others. Be compassionate, have empathy, and, you know, anything that goes on around you, yeah, participate, and, you know, and I don't know, be ready, I guess. Like, if we're all going to have to just load our suitcases, leave everything behind, leave everything that, you know, and just know we're going into something better. We'll get everything back that we ever lost, by tenfold. So there's nothing, I mean, it's hard to me because, like, just my art and my other, like, my kids' art. Like, I've got these big paintings that my daughter did and stuff, like all of mine ones. And it's like those kinds of things, like, you can't replace those. You can replace a couch, but how do you replace, like, something that you created? So anyways, you know, but you got to just be ready to let things go. Just let things go and know that it was always going to be that way. You can't take anything with you. No matter how much you love it, you can't take it with you. So the only thing you can take with you is what you do on the inside. So make sure you do that. I'll talk to you later. Bye.